Kelly and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I am an incoming freshman at Boston University. Today I will share with you guys how I got into BU, or so how because I feel like you can never really know how you got into a college. So for me, I'm just going to be sharing you guys my stats, my ACT, SAT scores, GPA, course, work, etc., all the things that I had on my college application to help you guys hopefully get into BU or other schools similar to BU, or just a college in general. So if you guys didn't know, people have called this the most competitive year that BU has had thus far in terms of their incoming freshman class. There are approximately 60,000 applicants and only 3,400 were accepted, and the acceptance rate is about 25% according to the Boston University website. Those that were accepted were in the top 7% of their class, had an overall grade average of an A-, had a 1452 on their SAT, the new one, had an ACT average of 32. Once again, these are all stats that I have read off from the Boston University website. Now I'm sharing that information with you guys because of the fact that I did not have those statistics. I feel like an anomaly in this application process. So that's why I'm sharing with you guys all of these stats, not to brag obviously, but to just show you that you don't necessarily need these scores to succeed. So there's a whole other factors that go into the college admission process. So first, I would like to start off with my grades and classes that I had in high school. I had a 3.8 weighted GPA, which results to about a 3.6 unweighted. I was 11 out of about 120 students for my class rank, making me in the top 10% of my class. For classes, I took all honors since freshman year except for senior year this past year, which I will get to in a minute. And I took 2 AP classes because at my school you can only take AP classes starting your junior year. I took A-Push last year and I got a 4 on the exam, and this year I took AP European History. So for my classes this year, I took Honors Calculus, Honors Anatomy and Physiology, Honors World Literature, Honors Political Science and Economics. I mentioned before I took AP Euro, and I also took Theology as my non-honors class because I went to a Catholic school, so we were required to take Theology all 4 years. In regards to classes, tried to take a rigorous course load. When I went to BU as a prospective freshman, for when I toured there for the first time, they definitely stressed on the fact that they want their students to challenge themselves and to take a more rigorous course load as opposed to getting all A's in easy classes. So try to challenge yourself without overwhelming yourself. Now for my ACT and SAT scores, I got a 27 on the ACT and I got a 1760 on the SAT, and that's the old SAT score, so I will try to put the converted SAT score on screen. I only took both of these standardized tests once, and I feel like you should take them more than once. I kind of wish I did to improve my score. I also took classes for the ACT to help improve my score, which it did, but it wasn't as high as I would have liked it to be. Now for extracurriculars, I feel like this is an important slot in your common application because I filled out my BU application in Common App. In Common App, they give you 10 spots to fill in all your extracurriculars. So for me, I used 9 out of those 10 spots. I played soccer for all 4 years, I played lacrosse for all 4 years, I was in Key Club all 4 years, the Language National Honor Society for 3 years, I was in the National Honors Society 2 years because you are inducted as a junior at my school, and as a senior I became treasurer. I started the Poetry and Writing Club junior year because writing is something I'm passionate about. And outside of school, I danced for 12 years, and I also played the piano since sophomore year, but that's when I stopped. I also did community service that I could have put on there. I also could have put work experience. There was an extra spot for like your resume or any other information that you feel like would be beneficial towards your application. So in regards to extracurricular activities, I would just say do things you're passionate about, like maybe 4 or 5 activities that you are just really heavily involved in. I feel like colleges, depending on who you ask, look for things that you are more involved in than necessarily just a crap ton of things that you're just kind of involved in. So definitely just do things you're passionate about, do things you like to do. Now for teacher recommendations, I feel like teacher recommendations are very important because not only do the admissions officers get to know you outside of your numbers and outside of the things you do, but they kind of get a perspective of how you are like in the classroom and a perspective of your personality from a more like outside point of view. So for teacher recommendations, I asked my chemistry teacher and my calculus teacher. I was okay and mediocre at both subjects. Actually, I sucked at math, but I had my calculus teacher for 2 years, so she kind of knew me better, and my chemistry teacher was my homeroom teacher and obviously my chem teacher for like 2 years. So they kind of knew me, but I would have liked to have asked different teachers. The reason I asked them was because my guidance counselor, when I asked him on who I should ask for teacher recommendations, he said that I should ask teachers that had subjects in which majors I was going into. So for me, I'm a nutrition major, so he told me to ask like my calc teacher, my math teacher, and like obviously chemistry, science teacher. Would like to have asked different teachers that I just did better in the classroom in and that also kind of knew me more. Honestly, just ask teachers that you have a good relationship with, that like you obviously, and that will write you a good solid recommendation. So basically, teachers that really know you and know your work ethic and know your personality and can showcase it in a very positive light. Now for college essays. For me, I think this was the most important part because like I mentioned before, I am really passionate about writing and I like writing. In the grand scheme of things, I feel like my essays in my entire college application was probably like the strongest point. If I'm gonna be honest, I don't know for sure, like I said, but I feel like if I had to pick something that definitely helped my application, I would say it would be my essays. There are 5 essay choices. I chose the second one, which was the lessons we take from failure can be fundamental to later success. Recount an incident or time when you experienced failure. How did it affect you and what did you learn from the experience? So the word limit for the Common App essays are 650 words. I used 649. The gist of what I wrote about for my Common App essay was I talked about how I did karate when I was younger, and I talked about how I was always the smallest. I hated karate, and then I tested for my black belt, and the first time I tested for my black belt I failed. So I talked about, I guess, my road to success and how I was determined to get my black belt despite the fact that I didn't like karate in the first place, but getting my black belt was something that I really wanted. I really liked my Common App essay. I like both of the essays that I'm going to talk to you guys about. I am really proud of it. I feel like it talks about me. It definitely shows you the core of my person. And then BU had its own essay question, and that was in no more than 250 words, please tell us why BU is a good fit for you and what specifically has led you to apply for admission. What I wrote was once again something I was really passionate about, and for me, I just equated places in Boston to places I've seen around the world because I have traveled a good amount. I talked about how what I wanted in a school wasn't necessarily home. I wanted an adventure in a school. So that's what BU was to me, a new adventure. I feel like these essays just portrayed my personality outside of the classroom. It shows what I value and I guess who I really am apart from all the numbers and things that I do in school. I used 245 words out of 250 words. So I'm a wordy person, I'm cutting it close, but you guys obviously know you don't have to write until the limit. Write about something that shows who you are. Write about something you're passionate about. Write about something that really speaks about you. I also had my English teacher and my friend peer edit both of these essays, so I highly recommend asking someone else's opinion. And keep in mind, even though you have other people proofread your essays, keep the integrity of your own writing, keep the voice of your writing clear. Now, my overall advice for anyone who is trying to complete common applications, whether this summer or this upcoming fall, I would just say start as early as possible. I started in September, August, and it worked out for me. I even applied early decision to Boston U, so everything worked out. And just work at it little by little. Obviously, you don't have to fill it out all at once. Same thing with the essays. Just start brainstorming and then just start writing. Obviously, try to write it earlier. I've heard people say that they started their essay literally like the night before, and I'm like, how could you? I would never have been able to do that. And then just overall for high school, don't overwork yourself. Even though grades are important, it's also important to take care of yourself. mentally and physically, to not overstress yourself to the point where you just cannot function. Now, after hearing all of my statistics and basically my college application in a video, you guys might be wondering, how the hell did I get into BU? Well, don't you worry, I wonder the same thing every single day, and that is one of the reasons why I am so incredibly grateful to have gotten into a school like BU. I am well aware that my classmates are at the top of their class, that they have taken like 10 AP classes throughout their entire high school career, maybe even more. I am well aware that the people I will be surrounded with in the upcoming fall are of the highest caliber. And although it might sound daunting, I am ready and excited to take on the challenge. I feel like even though it may seem that it was surprising for me to get accepted, because I'm surprised too, I was accepted for a reason. Once again, something to keep in mind is, even though you may think you're a good fit for the school also has to think they're a good fit for you. It also makes me appreciate that I got into a school like BU, because if they wanted me, then that means I have something to prove, and I can improve on my high school self to be better for BU. That is it for this video. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave them down below or message me. I have my social media in the description bar. Thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry this video was long overdue, but I hope you guys enjoyed nonetheless, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!